Hi, this is Amrita Sukumar, and I'm bringing to you this podcast called Unsettling. Look around you. Everyone is trying to create their own story. Make a tiny change in someone's life by just following their passion and in turn, inspiring the others to follow suit. This podcast brings to you stories of people who have defied the definition of settled set by the society and have created their own. They have found happiness in their version of settled. What is yours? Everyone moves to the city for better education, better jobs, and better lives. But there is one individual who moved back to his home and decided to start his own firm to be closer to his family and to provide jobs there. I have with me Mr. Swapnil Harkanth. Hi, Swapnil.
Hi, Amrita.
So, Swapnil, can you tell the listeners a little bit about yourself, about your journey?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. My name is Swapnil. I'm an entrepreneur basically, and I run a software development company, which I started around 4.5 years back with my partner, Chinmay. So we do all sorts of software development jobs, and we currently have a team of about 11 people.
Mm-hmm.
We are growing steadily.
Okay. So when did you decide to start your own firm, and what is it called?
The name of my company is Alpha Obs, ALPHA-OBS, Alpha Obs.
Yes.
When we decided to start Alpha, it was around 4.5 years back, as I said.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, the thing is, I've always been an entrepreneur, sort of. When I was in school, I used to sell pirated DVDs and whatnot to, just make some money. I have done all sorts of crazy things. And when I was in college, I was in MIT Pune only.
Yes.
So when I was in college, I started a research and development sort of a small group. Basically, we were a group of 30 people then, with one of our professors as our mentor, Mr. Anand Kulkarni, who was a PhD from Singapore.
Okay.
So, that also we were going to commercialize, but then things did not work out as good. So then I started a t-shirt business, and then...
So you did everything. Amazing. Continue.
Crazy things, bit here and bit there. But I always wanted to do some sort of business. I did not want to do a job as such. Okay.
What happened to the t-shirt business?
It failed miserably. Okay. I'm still very good friends with the partner who I had in that business. He's very, very good friend of mine. But it did not work out because we did not know anything about the business, how it works, and we did not even know that textile industry usually has a 90-day credit period where you don't get paid for 90 days, and we did not have any money to fund the production, so it just went haywire after a little while. Okay. But when I was in third year of engineering, we started our research and development firm wherein we researched over different algorithms that could optimize the way problems are solved and logistics problems and whatnot. And we were doing pretty good. We published a few papers in international journals and whatnot. But then that started going down. And in the final year, I was wondering what I wanted to do, because I did not want to take up a job that I knew. And I did not want to, move away from my family or to do any sort of thing that would, make me live apart from my parents, basically, because I'm very, very close to my parents. I'm an only child, and that is a responsibility of mine, that I should live with my parents and take care of them when they need me and all sorts of things. So I just stumbled upon Android development. I was looking here and there on Google, and I came across a class which taught Android development basically. I was a mechanical engineer, so I just felt ठीक है करके देखते हैं, I was always jumping here and there, so I did not have a fixed thing that I wanted to do this. Yeah. But I was more open to exploration than others, because where most people were I want to just finish my college, get to a job, marry 5 years down the line and whatnot. And I was more likely I wanted to explore a bit what works for me and what does not work for me. So I moved almost 20 kilometers away from where I was living, and I had all the friends and everything, and I was living in a completely isolated way for around 6 months. Just kind of self-exploring what I should do and whatnot. And then I learned Android development then. I completely fell in love with it and fell in love with the software industry as such.
Okay.
So that was in January 2015.
Oh.
Then I got married in April 2015.
Okay.
So I was 23 then. So and then I moved back to my home basically because I always wanted to do something here. Like it did not matter if I started a business at 23 or 25 or whatever, but I wanted to do it from here. So I moved back, and initially I was going to start a potato chips manufacturing unit basically
Okay.
because that is a very convenient business to do here because the best potatoes in India are grown in Madhya Pradesh,
Okay.
which is very close to my hometown. So that was a business that I was exploring, but it required a lot of investment initially, and I did not want to risk that much money, because I did not know anything, to be very honest. So software seemed like the best bet. Did not require a lot of cash to start with, and then we just started.
Nice. That's a wonderful story. But usually people prefer to go metropolitan then move to a three-tier city, right? So why did
Yeah.
you decide to move there instead of getting your parents closer to you?
Actually, the thing is, like, we have a joint family, right? We have a 25 people family here.
Oh my God.
Okay. I have 4 uncles, my father, so like 5 families living in 5 bungalows in a compound, right? So it's almost like a small village in itself. So like I could not have my parents, leave all of this behind and come with
Yes.
me, like especially when I do not even have a setup or a comfortably stable business.
Correct.
And like that would take at least 5-10 years, and I could not wait that long. So it was a no-brainer for me that I had to move back. And like if you think of it, like most people, like the reason they move to metropolitan cities is in the search of opportunities, right? Like if
Correct.
I'm an engineer, I don't have a software company in, let's say, Akola, where I'm based, and I'll obviously stay in Pune because like you can't expect me to do any other things with my skills. So like I'll be stuck in Pune or Bombay or wherever there is an opportunity for me.
Correct.
Right.
Yes.
My case was a bit different because I did not need any of those opportunities, right? Because my case was like मेरे को खुद का कुछ करना है basically, right? It did not matter पुणे में करना है, अकोला में करना है, किधर करना है. Plus, if I wanted to start in Pune, it would have been much easier because software development companies are abundant there.
Exactly.
Business is abundant, talent is abundant, everything is there. But then there was also a part of me which wanted to do something for my people and my region. Wherein, if you see places like Pune and Bombay, like half of the places, half of the crowd you'll see are from Vidarbha side.
Correct.
Which is basically Akola, Nagpur, Amravati, and these regions. Yes. So, but these regions are not developed. Like it is sort of like a mini version of the brain drain that has happened. And I felt very, very, very strongly about it, that because being so close to my parents, and so close to my family, like it was very painful for me to watch people leaving their homes and migrating to cities wherein their parents have to wait for like 6 months, 5 months to meet their own kids. And that is like horrible in my mind. Yeah. So like I was like, if we start there, we'll need to tweak the business model a lot. We'll need to work on a lot of things because there is no talent, there is nothing, and we need to start everything from scratch. Correct. There is a reason why there are not as many industries in Akola as there are in Pune because of like the political scene is different, the geographical scene is different, and number of reasons. Yes. But see, like when you want to start something and you have like the main question that you need to ask yourself is like how much does it matter for you, like कि कितना बड़ा हो पाएगा, right? So if you want to make it like 50 billion in that only in one business, you could never do that in Akola, right? That is impossible. Okay. But like my needs were very small. Okay? Right. My only goals were कि मेरे को कुछ पैसा कमाना है. I want to live with my family, and I want to live a happy life. That's all, right? सो
Best.
मेरे लिए वो चीज कोई बहुत ओवर कॉम्प्लिकेट करने वाली नहीं थी,
जी.
wherein मुझे ये चाहिए, मुझे वो चाहिए, मुझे चाहिए, like of course I wanted to be successful, like of course I want money, of course I want everything else, but that was not a prerequisite for me, or that was not a non-negotiable
That
for
was
me. For
secondary.
me,
Yeah.
yeah, secondary. मतलब वो आया तो ठीक है, नहीं आया तो
नहीं
ठीक
आया
है,
तो भी
anyways,
ठीक है.
you know,
हाँ.
we are all going to die one day, we are not going to take anything with us. It's
Yes.
better to live happily
Correct.
than to live like, you know, like Elon Musk, like he has billions and billions of dollars, but he has 3 failed marriages also. So like that life for me is like the worst. Like I want peaceful life, happy life, and a successful life. So success is not just money, right?
Yeah.
So like that is the way I thought, and I'm not, you know, tarnishing or making any sort of comment on people who want to move from Akola to Pune. Like it is their choice, but
Okay.
it was just the way I saw things.
I'm glad you did that. But as you said, there were a lot of hurdles that came your way. What were the initial hurdles that you had to face while setting your firm up?
So the thing is, like, I live in a place called Akot, AKOT, which is 45 kilometers away from Akola,
Okay.
which is our district place.
Okay.
So every day I have to travel 45 kilometers to go my office.
Oh my God.
Because and the road is so bad you'll feel like you're in a jungle.
I have been there, so I know.
Yeah. So like when I started, right, I was very much trying to be self-reliant, and I did not want to take any money from my parents and whatnot. So I used to commute using the state transport bus, which used to have like 60-65 people in a 40-seater bus. So I would carry a laptop bag in my hand, a tiffin bag in my other hand, and I would leave at 9 in the morning to return at 9:30 in the evening.
Oh my God.
And doing this in a time where I did not know anything about the IT industry. Okay, I was just blank. All I know was a little coding, nothing else.
Yes.
That too on not a level where I could execute good projects, teach people, and all that stuff, because I could not get talent here, right? I had to recruit freshers and then train them. Like even right now, that is our game. Like we recruit freshers and we train them in like 2-3 months and get them ready for the development part. So first I had to learn, you know, because there are no software, you know, like coaching classes or whatever here who can teach my employees how to code. So I had to learn. And I had to learn, I had to get projects, I had to execute them, you know, get the money, travel 3 hours a day on a role which would, you know, break your back if you did it 2 days a week. I used to do it 6 days a week, and it was a horrible time.
Oh my God.
A very testing time, actually. Like I had days wherein I slept at 3 a.m. and woke up at 5. Like, you know, that was the schedule that I had for a few months then. But it was crazy. But I had immense support from my family. Chinmay was in college then. He's just 23 years old now.
Okay.
So when we started, he was still in college. So he was not working full time as such. But he still did his level best to ensure that we kept getting projects and moving forward, basically. So like we've been almost bankrupt multiple times.
Oh my God.
Like lost everything. There were times when I had like 40 rupees in my bank account. I had to pay, I think, 2.5 lakh rupees in salary.
Oh.
So like,
how did you manage all that?
Even I don't know exactly, you know. Like it just came about.
I'm glad.
You know?
I'm glad it did.
And every time things went south, like me and Chinmay would just, you know, look at our hands and feel like, you know, we have is our hands. Like, let's work. And we would work like crazy, and we still do. Like usually I work 14 hours a day at least. So like that is normal routine for me now.
But what gave you the inspiration to keep going when you said that you know, you almost were bankrupt? But what was
many times? Many times.
What was the inspiration to keep going? Is what I'm saying.
See, one was a gut feeling that we are onto something, because a big advantage that we have being located in Akola is that people here are in a, you know, much more happier state of mind and a much more peaceful state of mind that as compared to Pune or metropolitan cities, because they don't have to commute that much.
Correct.
They don't have to live in stressful environments or whatever. Like they live with their families. They're happy-go-lucky type people. So like they are more willing to learn and cooperate and adjust as compared to people who in Pune. Like where if in Pune, if you ask your employee to wait for like 10 days for salary, he'll just give his notice. Right?
Yes.
That I won't wait. You do whatever you want. Give me my money. I'm leaving. Whatever.
Correct.
In Akola, my team is like a family. So everyone is so closely attached to each other. Like we share, the happiness together, the sorrows together, everything together. We face everything together. So like when we had tough times and salaries were getting delayed and anything, like I remember a month wherein like we could not pay the salaries. We had some crisis, and nobody took even a single leave. Not a single leave. They worked overtime when needed, and they did all of this to make sure that Alpha stayed alive.
Wow.
So like those things kept me going, and now we are at a stage where we are, by God's grace, growing like crazy.
Thank God.
Not in terms of employees, because we cannot have that many employees here. Like it's very difficult to hire.
Correct.
But we have a lot of work that is coming our way from India, from outside. Many people are trusting us with works, and we have like ongoing negotiations for some Irish-based companies who are in talks with us to like where we'll get equity in their company and develop a product for them and whatnot. But like it started to get real now.
Yeah, nice.
So, it works out, I think, in the end. If you're in it for the long run, right?
Yes.
And if you don't have too many expectations, it's not that painful.
Yeah. Because since you don't have a lot of expectations, then even if things go south, you don't feel much, but you just know that you have to keep working at it to get.
Yeah, because see, like as you know, like I started when I was very young. I was 23 when we started.
Correct.
So I had all the time in the world to fail. I still do. So like failure is not like a full stop. It's just
a step up.
An iteration,
Just a
right?
step.
Yeah. that is the way I think.
So how did you build your contact base? I mean, initially, now you are pretty much set, I guess. But initially, what did you do?
Initially, the most important thing that I did, which I feel was the most important, was I met a lot of people.
Okay.
Like there are some small software firms in Akola who have like 2 people shop, 3 people shop, who just do small projects and whatnot. At that time, I was even smaller than them.
Okay.
So like I did not have anything, did not know anyone, whatever. So I went and met them. I told them my name is Swapnil. I come from Akot, and like I'm trying to set something up here, and like will you be willing to work with me and whatnot. So we exchanged projects initially, which helped me with my revenue part. I learned some technical stuff from them. I learned what the industry needs and whatnot, because they were in the industry already for 4 or 5 years then, so they knew how the development works and everything. So it was a very good learning experience for me, and it also helped me get initial projects which were local, which did not pay that much, but they were very, very, very necessary for us to build some sort of portfolio, wherein we could go to clients and say like we've done this, so we could do your project as well.
Nice.
That was very important.
That's great. So what are the kind of services that you provide?
Sorry?
What are the kind of services that you provide?
Our main forte is customized software development, wherein we take the requirements of the client and we develop it into either if it's a SaaS based thing, wherein like we have a client from Ireland who they have around 7 lakh users, and we help maintain their system. Like there are other people working as well, because it's a big company and everything, but we help maintain their systems. We have done development of their Android and iOS apps, their website, everything. So like we do those kinds of things, wherein we worked on e-commerce portals, ERPs, Android apps, social media apps, and number of things.
Okay. Yeah. Just to get a basic idea, because I'm a layman in your field, so I thought I'll just get an idea as to what you do.
Sure.
So you said the
So
setup is there are 11 people right now with you, is what you said?
yeah, me and Chinmay,
Okay.
including 11 people.
Okay.
Yeah. Chinmay
Um,
handles all the sales side of the business. I look at the technical and operational side.
okay. And you already informed which cities you have expanded to, so I'm not going to ask you that question again. And you said that your family is into agriculture related business. So did you think of pursuing it as an option?
Not really, because it did not interest me,
Okay.
to be honest.
Okay.
It was something which was very routine and mundane. Like, you just do one thing every day for the rest of your life, kind of thing. So I did not want to get into that.
Okay. Okay.
So I was very eager to explore, as I said, like,
Yeah.
what lay ahead and what actually, made my mind tick, basically, like, things which I found were interesting and
Mhm.
things which would make me a better individual as such, or that will make me better.
Right.
Not something like I'll just sit on a chair and just
Keep doing
count the
the
notes
same
that are
thing
coming
every
in.
day. Yeah.
Yeah, that was never my goal. My goal, like, see, the way I see things is like, work is just a part of your life, right?
Hmm.
It's not your life,
Correct.
and you don't have a life without work also, because,
Hmm.
like, it's
It's
it's a subset
interconnected.
basically.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
a
they're very interconnected.
yes.
So if you're going to work on something,
Hmm.
like, shouldn't it be something that you really love and which also helps you develop yourself, rather than just sitting on your ass and doing nothing? Not doing nothing, but
Doing
it's
something
not
that you
like
don't
I'm,
like. It's a yeah.
yeah, and just to earn money.
Yeah.
Because, see, I never, I think from the age of 10, 12 years,
Hmm.
I never thought that I could not earn money, right?
Hmm.
Because it was not a challenge as such.
Hmm.
It was okay, like, ठीक है, money is, मतलब, ठीक है, पैसा आ रहा है, नहीं आ रहा, नहीं आ रहा, no big deal.
वही पैसा
Like,
कमाने के लिए डिग्री की जरूरत नहीं है, पैसा तो कैसे भी आ जाएगा as long as you are happy with what you're doing.
yeah, and you're able to do what you're doing, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
if you're good at it, people will want to pay. मतलब.
Correct. That is
So
definitely true.
that's what.
So, Swapnil, you told me that you got married at the age of 23. You are the only guy I know who got married at 23. So, how were you so sure at that age? Because I see a lot of confused individuals and
In their 30s, right?
yeah, in their 30s. Yes. And
My answer is going to sting a lot of people who will listen to this, and, like, I apologize in advance, but I actually think it's a no-brainer. I actually think, because, have you heard of the rule, like the 10,000 hour rule,
yeah, I have.
wherein you have to practice something for
For
10,000
10,000
hours
hours, yeah.
to be
Perfect.
really good at it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's say you get married.
Mhm.
Okay. Let's say you get married at 35.
Mhm.
You have a good career. You have all the stress that your boss gives you and whatnot.
Mhm.
You have clients to attend to, your employees to look after.
Yeah.
Your parents are getting sick. You are not in that good health,
Mhm.
and then you get married, right?
Yeah.
It's a completely different individual who is also somewhat similar to your age group,
Mhm.
who also has somewhat similar lifestyle.
Mhm.
By similar lifestyle, I mean getting a bit cranky because your boss is
Yeah.
yelling at you all the time.
Yeah.
Do you really think you will be able to last on very good terms for like 10,000 hours with that person? Like, no, I mean, like,
I
the
get what
best
you mean.
bet the best bet is to get married early.
Yeah.
Okay, when you get married early, like 10,000 hours roughly translates to 3 years.
Yeah.
If you take 10 hours a day, it would be around 3 years, right?
Mhm.
So if you need to spend at least 3 years to get into a good rhythm with the other person, to at least understand what other person
The
thinks and
likes,
feels,
dislikes,
and
everything. Yeah. To get in tune
yeah.
with that person. Yes.
So, like, 3 years is the minimum that you need. If
Mhm.
that is the minimum that you need, and you get married at 35, when it's becoming difficult for you and your partner both to have children,
Yes.
become parents, all the stress is there, all the drinking is there, smoking is there, whatnot.
I know.
You will have a very, very bad personal life
Experience.
if you
Yeah.
get
It will
married
be a
late.
bad experience. I get what you mean. That's
So
definitely going to be there. So start early. Start looking early. We are already
start
late.
looking early, and if you if you marry, like I got married at 23,
Yeah.
right? So in the first 3 years we were already on so good, such good terms with each other that we had a daughter in January last year.
Yeah.
Okay. That was like almost like our fourth anniversary was in April, and we had a daughter in January. So like it was almost the after the 3 year mark.
Nice. And
But
she's very cute, by the way. I've seen pictures. So
thank you, thank you. So the thing is, like, now if my daughter grows up in an environment where her parents are very peaceful, very loving, and very caring, and have a very good relationship with each other, she's much more likely to have those same things imbibed in her,
correct.
rather than seeing her parents fight all the time,
Yeah.
being stressed all the time, and being this and that. Stress is of course going to come.
Yes.
Like, I'm not saying that I'm not stressed all the time, but being young only gives you the ability to handle it better.
Yes.
Right. So like those kinds of things you have to think about. Like, I used to think about these things when I was 20. I'm surprised that people don't think about it. And partially I think is because of the mainstream media and what get a degree, get a job, get a degree,
Yeah.
get a job.
The time.
And like, yeah, most of the people who get a job don't even want a job.
Yeah.
They got a job because they applied for a job in college when campus was happening, because all of the teachers who wanted to show that their college was getting 100% placement pushed them to apply for a job, right?
Yeah.
Which they then got. They got stuck in it,
Yes.
and then they lived miserably ever after.
I get
So-
it. I completely get it, because this vicious cycle starts at 16. It's not even
Exactly.
at 23, because there are 2-3 options in front of you. Everyone's going for that CET AIEEE classes. So you follow the masses, and then you end up in one of the courses.
Right.
And then you're stuck. Then you're stuck till you're 25,
Exactly.
28. For sure till
And
20.
once you're at that age,
Yeah.
you cannot escape.
You cannot.
It becomes very, very, very difficult to escape at that age.
I know.
So it is very important to be thinking about this for the young people, at least, who are just in college, because people think of relationships and all these things as, there is a taboo part of it.
Yeah.
Wherein people think it is all taboo because of the Indian culture and whatnot.
Yes.
Like, I completely respect Indian culture. Like, I completely do. But that does not mean that I'm not going to get married, right? Like,
Yes.
everyone or almost everyone is eventually going to get married. So why not get married in such a stage wherein it would be most beneficial for you
Yeah.
and your partner and your family?
Correct.
It's just no brainer, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's better to get married early so that you both can grow together, rather than you
Exactly.
growing individually and then meeting the other person.
Because you already are
Yeah.
in a particular state of mind then.
Correct.
It is, your state of mind is not that
Complicated.
flexible.
There's no complexity as much
Yeah.
as it is right now. I guess the complexity reduces.
A lot. And to be honest, like, when I was doing all of these things, like when Alpha was just in the early stages and we did not know what to do, like, Komal was the one who supported me through all those tough times.
I know.
So that support is so critical. I mean, like, I cannot explain it, but it's just a massive improvement to have.
I know. And emotional support, emotional moral support, is
Very important.
always good. I get what you mean. So I think you've already commented upon the dating patterns that are there right now. So we will move on from that. And I will ask you this one question. As you spoke, there is a timeline that everyone is given, and everyone is asked to get settled as per the societal norms. So what is your definition of settled?
I think it's it cannot be generic, is what I think.
Yes.
You can't have a generic definition wherein you say, okay, do XYZ and then you are settled. Because everyone is different.
Yes.
Everyone has their own way of thinking. Everything is different. So, like, if you say, let's say, Swapnil, go to college, get a job, get married at 27, have a kid at 29, 30, and just try for promotions, get salary increments, buy a flat, pay EMIs and whatnot. So, like, that would never be a good fit for me. On the other hand, I have friends who would do nothing else but a job,
Yeah.
like that is how they are wired and that is what they really want to do. So like I have no what you can say,
No qualms
bad,
against, no issues against what they're doing.
yeah, I don't have any issues with that. But I still think like it's completely dependent on the individual. Like, I got married at 23. Like every single friend of mine was going crazy. Like you are stupid, you are this, you are that, अरे अभी तो time शुरू हुआ है.
अभी तो मजे करने हैं. मजे के टाइम पे तुमने शादी कर ली.
But
Yeah.
I always thought, कि यार ये बच्चों का गेम है, मतलब जो ये लोग कर रहे हैं.
Yeah. Eventually they'll understand.
They'll understand eventually, and then it will be too late because you cannot bring time back.
I know.
So that was my view. And again, uh, I will never call myself as I'm settled or anything, because like we still face stiff competition from anyone and everyone who is working in the software industry.
Correct.
Right, we are on the verge of getting bankrupt every few years. I think the scaling is a challenge, hiring is a challenge, everything is a challenge. So settled is not something that I would say that I am. From the societal norms, to get married, have a child,
Yeah,
I am maybe.
you have ticked
but
that.
that is that checkbox is ticked. But it's not what I would call myself as settled. I would be settled, I think, when I'm dead, probably.
Okay.
Not before that. Because see, just to extend this by 2 minutes, if you can.
Sure, no problem, definitely.
The way I see it is like there are 4 aspects, okay, of every human life. There's the physical aspect, mental, emotional, and spiritual. So like you cannot ignore one and just give importance to another and think that your life is happy and balanced. Like if you have bad health, that is your physical aspect is weak, you'll never be happy.
Correct.
Right? If you have a bad mental state wherein you are not making enough money, you feel like you are not getting what you deserve, and you're working in a job where your talents are not used and whatever, you'll never be mentally happy. There's also an emotional and spiritual side of it, wherein if you don't have a good family life, if you don't have someone you can depend upon, someone who love you and someone you love, you can never be happy. Like, so like the way I see it and the way I've seen it since I was like 19-20 is that I need to balance all 4 of these.
Correct.
And not just one of them. So for my physical life, I do workout, I jog, I do cycling, whatever, whenever I get time, at least 3-4 times a week. For my profession, I challenge myself every day, work as hard as I can. And for the other 2 aspects of my life, when I'm with my family, I stay with my family completely. Like I won't be engaged in my phone, chatting on WhatsApp and doing this and that. So like that is how I feel, and that is how I think I have like all of this work stress that I have, but at the same time I have a peaceful state inside of me which helps me get through all of this and still be sane. Otherwise I would be nuts by now.
I get it.
That's just my 2 cents.
Wow, that's beautiful. Actually, that makes a lot of sense, and I'm glad. I hope people listen to this and take this message away and try to imbibe it in their lives. It's actually beautiful. I'm glad you extended it by 2 minutes.
Actually, I've been I've been very influenced by Swami Vivekananda. Like when I was in college, I used to visit Ramakrishna Mission, if you know, is on Tilak Road.
Yes.
In Pune. Like I used to visit there very frequently. Almost every Sunday we would be there. Me and 2 of my friends.
Okay.
So we'd meet people, we'd read books. I also have all 9 volumes of the complete works of Swami Vivekananda on my Kindle.
Okay.
I have read 4 or 5 of them, 4 of them I think, but I did not finish them. I have not been able to finish them actually. But like that is the spiritual aspect of it.
It's not just spiritual, it makes a lot of sense. Whatever you said is actually true, to have a balanced life. And
it's very much needed.
Yes.
People take one thing seriously and they disregard all others.
Yes.
And then they are confused कि यार क्या हो रहा है, मतलब मेरे लाइफ में क्या चालू है और क्या नहीं. Like, dude, you caused all of it.
I know.
मतलब so
You should have been. It's not one thing, right? Whatever you said is true. If you just focus on your career and the other two are left behind, you are again in a different mental state.
Exactly.
So even if one part of the life is left behind, you still keep wondering what are you doing with your life. And if you have all three,
Exactly.
you're somewhere balanced. Even if the world is falling apart, you are
You have that
mentally and
peace,
spiritually at peace. Yes.
and that is what is needed.
Yeah. So thank you, Swapnil. Thank you for sharing your wisdom and coming on the podcast. I'm really glad that we had this conversation. And can you tell the listeners about your website or your page that they can follow you?
Hi. So yes, thank you, Amrita, as well, because you've been very, very kind to listen to me. People
I
easily
had
get bored, but
fun. No, I didn't. I had so much fun. We had such a wonderful discussion.
right. So my website is Alpha Obs, alphaobs.com.
Okay.
Like we do all sorts of things from software development to helping your business monetize your existing app or software if you have anything.
Hmm.
So you can just check it out. And thank you to all the listeners who've been, listening for this long.
I'm
I,
so glad.
I hope I
I'm
have.
sure they can take away something really interesting from this. And I will be adding all the links in the description, so you should definitely go check out his website.
Okay. Thank you, Amrita. You're very kind.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Swapnil. Thank you so much.
Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Unsettling. If you have any feedback, please write it in the comments or send me a mail on podcast.unsettling.as at gmail.com or send me a DM on my Instagram page. I'm sharing all the links in the description below. I hope you had fun. Stay tuned. More stories are yet to come.